Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight, I have a special guest, our Alexander City Councilman, Scott Hardy, with us here tonight. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing well, Santana. How about you?
I'm doing great. Many citizens here in Alexander City have some questions. What efforts the city is doing at this time? And I just on those and give us kind of an update on that.
Yes, ma'am. Well, the first thing we did, which was done yesterday, the city has decided not to disconnect services for late payment, and all charges relating to penalties for late payment will be waived. These changes will stay in effect until further notice or until the state of emergency is uplifted from the governor. But right now, we're hoping that even something as small as that could be something that provides some relief for both employees and employers.
That's great. And that's something that's no questions asked, right?
No questions asked. Yeah, under the current circumstances, we feel that that would be the best option, especially when people are unaware of how long they're going to be out of work, if they are out of work, and especially as a small business, their employees they've had to let employees go temporarily, and obviously with the lack of traction within the community, that's limited the opportunity for people to do business.
I gotcha. And what are some things that you, the city, and the city council members recommend citizens do to protect themselves and others through this?
The city is definitely asking that all members of the community do exactly what is being mandated by the state, which is right now, Governor Ivey has said no gatherings of more than 25 people, and obviously 6 feet for social distancing. But obviously at this point, if we actually really want to see the numbers decrease and hit this curve that everyone keeps speaking about, then it's very imperative that we listen to what's being asked of us. So although the number is at 25, if you can limit that number to whatever your household is currently, I think that would be the best way to ensure that we get through this as expeditiously as possible.
Right. And I know that you actually had that mandate kind of affect you personally. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, our wedding day, KK and I, we were getting married next Saturday, and when the news started to break, we started to get a little nervous, and so once it was at 50, we were like, all right, we can do that. Then it went down to 25, and ultimately at this point, I mean, selfishly, obviously we want to have as large a wedding and the wedding that we hoped for, but to stay in line with what's being asked, I think that it's very important for somebody in my role. I can't sit here and ask the community to stay in and do the things that the governor, as well as the federal level, they're asking us to do if I'm not going to participate as well.
Yeah, I respect you for that. And I know that a bunch of people watching are probably going through something similar. So I think that was good for people to hear. What do you kind of think about things that the state has done? For example, Birmingham is at a shelter in place right now. What do you think about that?
I think that right now, because of where the numbers are, especially in your hotbeds where the numbers are, I think that that's something that's definitely necessary. But if our community and other communities around us don't want to be put in that situation, then the best way to do that is to heed to what's being asked of us. And I know it's very inconvenient for everyone, and it's kind of put a halt into our daily lives. But if we do what's being asked of us and just get through it. I think this is something too where this doesn't just impact a certain class, a certain race or gender. Everybody is getting impacted by this. So we're all dealing with it at the same time. And when you're dealing with real time information, I talked to Cliff about this. It's very difficult to think about 2 weeks from when every day it seems like daily you're getting new updates. So right now we're just taking it as is. But if that's something that has to occur, then I will definitely support that if it means protecting the safety of our citizens.
Right. This situation is definitely very fluid and very unprecedented. The city hasn't dealt with something like this before. Are there any other efforts that you want to share that the city's working on?
Well, right now, I do know that especially for me being in District 3, the hotbed for our small businesses are in the downtown area. So in conjunction with the chamber and Main Street, a couple of leaders from the city will be meeting with them to try to figure out if there's anything we can do outside of what we're doing from the utility lift. If there's something, I know we've seen other communities where if it gets to this point where there will be some type of private public partnership where maybe we partner with some of the banks and see if there's a way to try to incentivize some of our businesses to either take out some type of commercial loan or some small interest, small business loan, where there's a way to make sure that not only the lights, for lack of a better term, but to make sure that they're able to continue business going forward. But right now, my primary goal, outside of obviously making sure that our citizens are as safe as possible and healthy as possible, is to try to figure out a way to help our business community, particularly what's happening in the downtown area.
Gotcha. And if there are any more updates, we will continue to communicate with the city and get those updates in the paper as well. Scott, and I think you had maybe some links or resources for businesses that you might share down in the comments below here. But I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me tonight and kind of share an update from the city's standpoint to inform the citizens. And we are going to go ahead and take a quick break. Scott, if you want any last words.
I will just say this. I do want to say how appreciative I am of the Outlooks coverage. First off, this has been tremendous in keeping everybody up to date, not just locally, but what's happening on the state and federal level as well. And I do want to say how very fortunate we are to have the caliber of hospital that we have, because I think this reflects how important rural healthcare is, especially in times like this. So hats off to all of our public safety officials, as well as any of our health officials in the community as well.
Thank you again, Scott, and thanks for chatting with us tonight. And we are going to take a quick break.
Thank you, guys.
Can you see me? Yeah.
Hey everybody, we are back. My name is Lizzie Arbogast. I am sports editor at the Tallapoosa Publishers, alongside managing editor Santana Wood. Great to hear Scott on tonight, and have him kind of tell us from a city's perspective what's going on.
Yeah, definitely was great to hear from Scott and get that city update as well. As far as some state news tonight, Alabama has seen a 59% increase in a single day, as the Alabama Department of Public Health did confirm 144 new cases at Wednesday's 5 p.m. update. Tallapoosa County has doubled its total up to 4 confirmed cases at this time, and Elmore County has moved up to 9 confirmed cases at this time. We still have 0 confirmed cases in Coosa County at this time.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that in Coosa County. There have been some questions about kind of why that's happening. I don't believe there's a testing facility there. The closest one would be either Tallapoosa County or Wetumpka, depending on where they live in Coosa, or maybe Tilton County. Anyhow, it's interesting to see how those numbers are sort of fluctuating and when they're coming in and that kind of thing.
It is, and I think it's important to remember that the Alabama Department of Public Health is probably working overtime to get these numbers reported, and we'll just continue to see these updates twice a day, daily, and see how the changes are reflected each day. The Jackson County Commission has also reported a part-time employee has died after contracting the coronavirus. They say the death was confirmed by the Alabama Department of Public Health, but the state did not report any COVID-19 related deaths in its latest numbers as of 5 p.m. this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we'll look into probably this week is a lot of people are saying that the deaths are not just coronavirus, but also in conjunction with some other physical illness, some sort of disease, pre-existing condition, those kinds of things. So I think that's why they're potentially, not saying that it came from the coronavirus, but after contracting.
Right. I think that they obviously have to do some testing and stuff to find out if that was actually the rule of death there.
Right. So heading into some national news, they are making a progress on the $2 trillion stimulus plan that we've been hearing about. It was announced early Wednesday morning that a deal was met. It's supposed to go to vote today. So we've been watching that happen. There was a little bit of a snag on the floor as right now, so we'll keep an eye on that. But that is what you're hearing about, checks potentially being sent out and things like that.
Right. Also, in some national news, the World Health Organization director warned countries of lifting lockdowns too quickly, saying the last thing any county needs is to open schools and businesses only to be forced to close them again because of a resurgence of COVID-19.
On to some more local news. Alexander City Fire Department is taking some extra precautions, setting up hot ambulances, which are basically ambulances that have extra precautions and can transport highly contagious patients. So that's kind of the big development for us today.
Yeah, over in Elmore County, Wind Creek Casino and Hotel announced that it has elected to keep all of its properties closed until further notice. And Color Wetumpka Happy, that we did mention on Tuesday night's show, has been canceled at this time, just due to the concerns of kind of the socialness of using sidewalk chalk and kind of everybody gathering together, just to limit that precaution a little bit.
Also, the commission is limiting access to county facilities. A little surprised they haven't done that sooner, but good that they're trying to make those moves.
Definitely. To go on to some myth versus fact tonight, I have seen a lot of people saying that the coronavirus can be transmitted through mosquito bites. And the World Health Organization did say that that is not true. According to the World Health Organization, there has been no information or evidence to suggest that COVID-19 could be transmitted by mosquitoes.
Yeah, it's interesting, these kind of rumors that come out. It's hot weather kills it, dogs contract it, cold weather kills it, now mosquitoes got it. So again, if you have those questions or you've heard those rumors and you want us to clarify something for you, go ahead and reach out to us, and we'll be happy to do that.
To end on a good note, again, we've got some feel-good news for you. Some locals over in News Site bought 25 cheeseburgers from General's Cafe, and they handed those out to truck drivers passing along on Highway 22, and I just think that's really awesome. Those little efforts that don't take much from a person can make a big impact on somebody.
Oh, absolutely. Also, we have heard of the owners of Dye Pirates in Dadeville have been sewing protective masks for community members and are also offering extra supplies to those who need them. They've got some hand sanitizer and things like that. So that's been a really great thing to see.
And those will be some stories that you can look in Thursday's Outlook to read some more about those stories, and continue to come to us online every day, twice a day, around 10 o'clock in the morning and around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when the state is releasing those updated numbers as far as confirmed cases in the state and in all of the counties.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, look at the Outlook Facebook page. We decided to have a little fun today, do a meme contest. So that's been fun. It made us laugh for a little while. So if you need a break from all this, please go there. But we do appreciate y'all's support as always.
We do appreciate everyone supporting us and continuing to watch our show each weeknight. Here at 7 o'clock, we will continue to come to you to give you the latest coronavirus news and hopefully give you some, debunk some rumors and tell you some feel-good stories as well while reporting the news here. Again, I am Santana Wood, Managing Editor of Tallapoosa Publishers, alongside Sports Editor Lizzie Arbogast, and thank you for watching.
And thanks, Scott, for joining us as well.
Have a good night.